Have you ever looked at a bunch of numbers, a fraction, a decimal, maybe a whole number, and just thought, which one is actually the biggest? Well, today we are going to unlock a really simple but super powerful method to compare any of these numbers and find out what they're truly worth.
So, to get us started, let's kick things off with a little story. Let's imagine we're talking about something everyone gets: gold. Okay, so 3 people have found different amounts of it, and our job is to figure out who really hit the jackpot.
And this one simple question is going to lead us to a math tool that is just so useful. Okay, here are our treasure hunters. We've got David with 2/3, Solomon with 1/2, and Ruth with 3/4. Now, just by looking at these fractions, it's not super obvious who's the richest, is it? We need a much better way to put these head to head.
And that right there brings us to the main idea. See, to compare different things accurately, it doesn't matter if it's money or measurements or numbers, you've got to get them into the same format first. You need a common language.
Now, the official name for these kinds of numbers we're playing with is rational numbers. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying any number that can be written as a fraction. And yeah, that includes all the fractions we just saw, but also decimals and even plain old whole numbers. So, what is this magical common language? It's decimals. That's the key right there. If you convert every number into its decimal form, you can line them up side by side and see their true values. It makes comparing them, well, incredibly simple.
And the process for doing this is just beautifully straightforward. It's a simple 2-step method, and believe me, it works every single time. And here they are. Step 1, you convert any numbers that aren't already decimals into decimals. And step 2, you compare the results. That's it. So simple. Convert, then compare. Let's see how it works.
Okay, so the most important part here is step 1. How in the world do you turn a fraction into a decimal? It's easy. You just divide the top number, that's the numerator, by the bottom number, the denominator.
Let's go ahead and try this with our story. We'll start with David's share of the gold, which was the fraction 2/3.
So, if we follow our rule, we just set this up as a division problem. The fraction 2/3 becomes 2 divided by 3.
And when you punch that into a calculator, you get about 0.67. And just like that, we've translated David's confusing fraction into our nice, clean, common language of decimals.
All right, now that we've got the method down, we can go back to our story and finally solve the puzzle. It's time to use our little 2-step process on everyone's gold and find out who the richest person really is.
And here is the whole shebang. Solomon's 1/2 becomes 0.50. We already figured out David's 2/3 is about 0.67, and Ruth's 3/4, well, that turns into 0.75.
And look at this. Look what happens when we actually visualize these decimals. When you put it in a bar chart like this, bam, the answer just jumps right out at you. This shows you just how powerful finding that common language really is.
And there is our answer, clear as day. With a value of 0.75, Ruth has the most gold. The mystery is solved.
See, that wasn't so bad, right? Let's solidify this new skill with a couple more quick number showdowns. This is going to help build your confidence with this whole convert and compare method.
All right, here's your next challenge. Using the method we just learned, can you put these 3 numbers in order, from the smallest to the biggest?
Okay, let's break it down. The decimal 0.75 is already done for us. Then 4/5. That converts to 0.8. And 7/8 becomes 0.875. Now ordering them is a piece of cake. 0.75 is the smallest, then 4/5, and the greatest is 7/8.
Okay, one last quick one to really lock it in. Which one of these is bigger, 5/6 or 0.85?
All we have to do is convert the fraction. So 5 divided by 6 gives us about 0.833. And when you compare that to 0.85, it's obvious. 0.85 is the bigger number.
And just like that, you've pretty much gained a new math superpower. You now have a foolproof way to compare a whole bunch of different numbers, and you can do it with confidence.
So let's just recap the big takeaways here. Rational numbers can look different, fractions, decimals, you name it. But the secret to comparing them is to always convert them to decimals first. And you do that by dividing the top number by the bottom number. Once they're all decimals, the rule is easy. The higher the decimal, the bigger the number.
So now you have this amazing tool to look past the surface and find the real value of any number. And it makes me wonder, What else in your world, maybe it's statistics you see online or store discounts, what else could be understood a little better if you just took a second to convert things into a common language and give them a closer look?